With kids back in school, it's a great time for parents to think about their kids' schooling in the long run. Are you saving enough and in the right places? So here to help us is personal finance expert Lesley-Anne. Good morning to you.
Morning.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So, you know, it is a tight time for a lot of families, but why is it important to really start thinking now about the long term?
The sheer cost of education in the future is massive.
Right.
We're talking about a newborn today having to pay upwards of $115,000 to $150,000 for their post-secondary by the time that they're ready to go to school, so 17 or 18 years from now. That's why parents should start thinking about it today, because if they don't, and let's say you're a year before your child has to go to post-secondary,
right,
you might end up making some bad decisions like selling your retirement investments, putting a second mortgage on the house.
Right.
These will all, they will delay your retirement plans, and they're not a great financial decision.
Right. So think ahead. Start now. How are Alberta parents doing these days?
Alberta parents are actually bucking the national trend,
Really?
which says that parents aren't taking advantage of RESPs to their fullest extent.
Right.
Alberta parents, however, are doing a little bit better job. They're opening RESP accounts for their children, and they're starting to contribute. What we need Alberta parents to do is ramp up the contributions as the economy gets better.
Okay.
And through that process, you're going to start taking advantage of government grants.
Right, and I was already talking to you about this. I couldn't believe it. Everybody sort of knows about the RESP, and whether you actually done it or not is one thing, but I had no idea about this grant, which is free money. Tell us about it.
So the Canada Education Savings Grant is what is available for all parents, and it is a total of $7,200.
That's huge
That's
money.
massive amount of money.
Yeah.
And the recent poll from Ipsos and Knowledge First Financial says that parents across the country aren't applying for the CESG, and in some provinces, other provincial grants are available. What we also know is that if parents belong to a lower income bracket, they have access to a Canada Learning Bond, which is an extra boost, and if they don't apply, which the statistics show they're not applying, that's another few $1,000s that would help with the RESP. All we need to do is pay attention to the deadlines and make sure that we are applying for these grants on time.
Okay, and so how do you do that? Where do you go? How do you apply for these grants?
So first off, we want to check the government website. Federal government website has all the restrictions, windows, deadlines that you as a parent need to pay attention to. I personally believe, though, an RESP specialist could be really helpful in this situation. They'll be the one that calls you to remind you every year to make sure that application is in, or to just remind you, hey, you didn't make a contribution this year for junior, so you want to get on that.
And do that now. Okay, so now how much are we talking here? Because, you know, a lot of Alberta families are struggling. We've had a difficult economy over the last couple of years, but you're saying start small.
I think that $50 a month could do a world of difference. It could make a child able to pay for their first year of education. So $50 a month, when you compound it, doesn't seem like a lot, but it grows to be something quite substantial. For you and I, that might be a downgrade in our coffee from the extra large to a tall or a small. And in that simple act, that would put $1.50 back into your pocket. If you want to give your child a full ride through university, that's going to be about $200 a month. In both situations, you'll want to take advantage of those government grants because you're going to do your part through contributions, but then the government's going to kick in this booster through the CESG, and if you're in lower income, the Canada Learning Bond.
It's free money. Why not do it, right?
I love free things.
Well, who doesn't, right?
Absolutely.
Wow. The other really good tip that I thought you had was that, you know, how many toys does a child really need, right? So maybe extend this out to family and friends.
That's right. So make it a family affair. There are only so many My Little Ponies that your child will need, and that's a $25 gift that might come from an aunt or uncle. So maybe trading those gifts in for an RESP contribution instead is another great way to put a few $100s into the RESP account every year.
Wonderful. Lesley-Anne, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great tips as always. I got to research that grant. That sounds great.
Thank you.
All right.